The topic of consciousness is a topic that is probably the most relevant topic for discussion between the neuroscientists and the monastic science scholars. But when we talk about consciousness, I think we have to understand that two traditions come from a very specific, fundamental paradigm, different paradigms. Daniel Goleman, in his book called Emotional Intelligence, he makes this case that actually not the emotional intelligence, it's one of the, I think, destructive emotions. He mentions that the modern science, when it comes to understanding consciousness, the fundamental paradigm is that consciousness ultimately is reducible to arises. It ultimately has to do with physical property of the physical phenomenon, whether it's brain, you can go to minute levels, genes and so forth, but without a physical basis, you can't see consciousness. And this is something His Holiness has mentioned yesterday also. At what level, excuse me, at what level the mind or the consciousness emerges from the physical properties, at what level of complexity of the physical properties enable the emergence or the giving rise of the consciousness. Whereas so it seems like that the dominant neuroscience to this point assumes that mind or the consciousness is what the brain does. And whereas the Buddhist tradition, the Buddhist contemplative traditions, as Venerable Sampo presented here, the fundamental paradigm of the consciousness or the mind is not reducible to, or it doesn't need to be dependent on some physical kind of, at least coarse physical property.